Hello and welcome to another episode of What Travis Says, the only show on YouTube where even though we're not gamers, sometimes we have ideas and thoughts about games. My name is Travis, let's talk about Pokemon Go. When you ask what's next for Pokemon Go, where should the game go from here, the obvious suggestion from most people would be Generation 2. And that does make sense chronologically, albeit without the legendaries and Mew and Mewtwo, but it goes Generation 1 and then Generation 2. And I've always somewhat been in that camp. I feel like 100 new Pokemon would bring a little bit of lifeblood back to Pokemon Go, but I stumbled upon a Forbes article today by someone who was writing about Pokemon Go. Not that it's dead, but that it's sleeping. It's in hibernation because there hasn't been any real new content in the past few months. And the author of the article is absolutely right. With the exception of hatching some baby Pokemon from eggs, there hasn't been anything really new in the game since Buddy Pokemon. Before Christmas, Niantic was on a bi-weekly schedule where they'd sort of tweak the game and give it little updates every 2 weeks. But since Christmas, that schedule has kind of fallen by the wayside. In the most recent data mine of the newest update, it seems that Niantic is almost ready to literally flip a switch for new stuff in the game. Genders, shiny Pokemon, and even Generation 2. The coding is there, it's just a flip of the switch until it shows up in the game. But this Forbes article brought up an interesting idea that Pokemon Go does not need Generation 2 to bring back the hype. What it needs is an overhaul in game mechanics. The author compares Pokemon Go to first-person shooter Destiny, and although the games are drastically different, the author of the article believes that Niantic could definitely learn from Destiny's trials and tribulations when it came to updating their game. In the first update, Destiny tweaked some things that made enough sense that had a lot of people wondering why these things weren't in the game in the first place, much like Niantic has been doing with Pokemon Go. Poke tracking. Sorry, I had a tickle in my throat. I said pokey tracking. But then Destiny started releasing some updates that changed the actual fundamental gameplay of the game. And when I say fundamental gameplay, I don't mean that the game was completely different. The feel was still the same, but the updates were welcomed with open arms. Improved storytelling, quality of life improvements, but then came the game changer. See what I did there? It's a game. So, never mind. Destiny then had a huge update which dropped loads of new content for the game. And as the writer says, they papered over the obstructionist design of the game while keeping the essential fun intact. And in response, people paid attention and Destiny got its second win. So what can Niantic learn from this? Well, there are a few hang-ups currently in Pokemon Go. People seem to get tired of the game for one of three reasons. 1, I caught all the Pokemon, now what? 2, I hit level 40 and caught all the Pokemon, now what? 3, I'm tired of grinding for these Pokemon and the levels, I am done with this frustrating game. Sure, Niantic could release Gen 2 into the wild and then people could catch 90 plus Pokemon, but then what? Wait over 6 months for Gen 3? The author of the article says that the biggest takeaway is that Bungie, Destiny's developer, was not afraid to make big changes to the core gameplay because they needed changing. He made a clear message to anyone who had been playing Destiny early on and then gave up by saying, hey, this game is completely different than the one that you were playing. You should come back and try it. Just try it. It's way different now. And that is exactly the feeling that Pokemon Go needs. We don't need more Pokemon, we don't need more medals, we don't need more eggs to hatch just by walking. First stop of the day, first catch of the day, streaks, those are fine, but what if you got something for hitting your first 10 Pokestops of the day, or winning your first gym battle of the day? We need more gameplay mechanics like PvP. Imagine how fresh the game would be if you could just battle those around you. While they're at it, if they wanted to overhaul the whole gym battling thing and make it more like the main series games, that'd be great too. And what if there was a way to change your Pokemon's moveset in Pokemon Go, like with a TM? Imagine getting all of these Magikarp together just to evolve into a Gyarados with Twister. Or what if you catch a perfect IV Lapras with Ice Shard and Dragon Pulse? I realize a lot of you probably don't know what that means. It's not good. That's not a good moveset. Not to mention it would help some of the Mons with really bad moveset pools become a little more powerful in gym battles. Oh, and trading, of course. That's something even the most hardcore players agree should be implemented into Pokemon Go. In the comments down below, let me know what you think the next big Pokemon Go update should be. Should it be Gen 2? Do you think it should be the legendary birds, or Mewtwo, or one of the things that I listed? As always, my name is Travis. Thank you for listening to what I have to say, and you will see me tomorrow.